Not so long ago, Gerald's story appeared in the Sunday Life when he received a medal. And Colin wrote the piece. And Colin, I invite you now to bring your tribute to Gerald.
Every now and again, as you walk through life, you bump into all sorts of people, and I've certainly bumped into quite a few. And they're all sorts, all types, and all walks they come from. But every now and again, a gem comes along. And Gerald was that sort of person. Very deceptive. A deceptive sense of humour. The wit that he had inside was very often kept hidden. And always jolly, and who could fail to start laughing once that head went back and he started into his laugh himself. Many's a time we went for lunch, and we used to go to some of the local restaurants. We'd go there and he'd regale me with stories, most of which, to be fair, he told me before. But they were as fresh, and certainly as fresh to him, when he was telling me them for the second time. And you always enjoyed them, even though you knew what was coming. But one thing more than a story he enjoyed was a coincidence. No part of this province was safe for Gerald to travel to sit in a cafe, go on a bus, sit down in the park, without someone sitting beside him who knew him from either Irvingstown, they came into Adelboden, or they were down in Birr. But they always were somewhere, or they'd babysat for one of the girls. But there was always some connection, and every day it was, "You'll never guess who it was." And you go, "That's right, Gerald, I won't." But there was always someone there, and it always brought a smile to his face to have these memories, and so many people he did know. And indeed, later on in life, when his pins weren't what they might be, when you were trying to keep an eye on him walking so that he didn't stumble or anything, he'd be walking into restaurants, and he was so keen to see who was there that he might know, or who might know him, that he's not watching where he's going. It was a constant battle to pay attention to what's in front of him. Or when he had a walking stick, which he used to think wasn't really a walking stick in the true sense, it was more designed for him as if he was a vaudeville act. He would walk into places like the stables, and the first thing to a total stranger he would announce is, "I don't need this, you know." I'm 85. And they always, and there was that infectious goodwill that just oozed from him, from the gentleman he was. And you couldn't help but see that that's exactly what he was in everything he did and everything he touched. From his family through to the latest edition now of a grandson who, sadly, that terrible illness we all know, dementia, robbed him of getting to know. But I'm quite sure in his own way, from when the two of them first met, they would have got some sort of bond, because that's the sort of thing Gerald would do. And his faith will take him now to where he rests, and he will see and oversee from there. One lasting impression, and I know time is short with us today, that will always stay with me, was in restaurants, that he has affected my behaviour in every single one I ever go to, if I ever think I'm going to have scampi. You may not be aware of this, but in Adelboden you got 15 pieces of scampi. And I'm very aware of that, because every time he ordered scampi, which he did quite a bit, he would tell me, "In Adelboden you got 15 pieces of scampi." And you sat there almost praying, "Please God, let there be 15 pieces in this plate." Because there's going to be trouble if there's not. And he could cut up rough over a scampi. It was the one thing he had with him, and he saw the plate arrive with some fancy chef's twee thing that looks more like a starter, 2 or 3 pieces, and you're thinking, trouble. And then he'd tell the waiter how many pieces he would have got till he'd been in Adelboden. So I've almost got to the stage now, if I'm in a restaurant, I'm scared to order it without asking, how many pieces of scampi am I going to get here? And I'll certainly never eat again without thinking of them. But it's good that when we do think back of him, we laugh and smile, because that's the sort of person he was and what he brought to the table. And to think back of the many military stations that we've spoken about, and the camaraderie which I think he enjoyed during his time in the services, which is borne out today with members of the Irish Guards for an old colleague and comrade who are here today. And I think that really says it all. But to go back to when he was stationed at the Oval, and he played a game of cricket with some of the English team, to use the cricketing parlance, he was 92. It was a very good innings. And I have to say, this time there'll be no more lunches. And it's good very for me, Gerald. and it's tip top from hitting.